Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're getting into something, well, frankly, kind of annoying for a lot of homeowners.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
You keep your house super clean, like spotless, but you're still seeing mice.
Yes. The clean house still got mice problem. It's a classic frustration.
Exactly. It feels like you're doing everything right, but they still show up. So if you're listening and thinking, why me? Well, you're in the right place.
Definitely. People really do believe that cleaning is the ultimate mouse repellent, but it's often not the whole picture.
Right. So today we're diving deep into an article from Simple Pest Management. It's called Clean House, but Still Seeing Mice. This might be why.
Good source. It's written by Ian Chi, who's the president and CEO over there, so he should know his stuff.
He should. And our goal today, for you listening, is to figure out why cleanliness isn't always enough and, crucially, what you can actually do about it.
Get some real answers beyond just clean more.
Precisely. I'm Mark Buzz.
And I'm Anna Bugs.
And hey, if you like what we do here, exploring these kinds of topics, maybe give us a follow or a like. It helps other people find the show.
Yeah, we'd appreciate that. And while you're at it, check out Simple Pest Management on social media too, especially if this topic hits home.
Okay, let's jump in. The article basically starts by saying, look, a clean house is great, but it doesn't mean mice won't move in.
Which, like you said, feels wrong, doesn't it? But there are solid reasons. The first big one. Tiny, tiny entry points.
Yeah, this is wild. They say mice can exploit really small openings, even in new houses or ones that look perfectly sealed.
Exactly. Think about where pipes or wires enter the house, or vents, or gaps near the foundation, or in crawl spaces. We often just don't notice them.
And the article points out something incredible: mice can squeeze through a hole the size of a dime.
A dime. It's hard to even picture. Their skeletons are surprisingly flexible.
So your kitchen floor could be gleaming, but if there's a dime-sized gap near the dryer vent...
A mouse sees a welcome sign. So the recommendation's pretty practical. Seal those gaps. Steel wool is key because they really struggle to chew through it.
Right, stuff it in the hole, then maybe seal over it with caulk, makes it much tougher for them.
It's a crucial first step. Blocking the entrances. Okay, so reason number 2, they mention shifts focus inside to nesting materials.
Ah, yeah. The places we maybe don't clean quite as often.
Precisely, like cluttered garages or the back of closets or maybe the attic.
Full of stuff we're going to sort out someday.
We've all got those spots. And for mice, they're perfect. They'll shred paper, cardboard, even pull apart insulation to make nests.
So even if the main rooms are tidy, these hidden spots can become like mouse hotels.
Basically, yeah. They offer quiet, warmth, materials, everything a mouse family needs. The article stresses checking these storage areas, looking along baseboards, especially in crawl spaces.
And the advice is declutter.
Declutter. Get rid of those potential habitats. Don't give them the building supplies.
Makes sense. Okay, what's next? Ah, food, obviously.
Right. But it's not just about crumbs on the floor, although that doesn't help.
No.
Well, the article points out that mice are pretty good at getting into food packaging. Think cardboard cereal boxes, bags of rice or pasta, pet food bags.
Oh, right. They can just gnaw through that stuff.
They absolutely can. Even those individually wrapped snacks aren't always safe if a mouse is determined.
So cleaning the counters isn't enough if the pantry is full of easily chewable boxes.
Exactly. The recommendation. Airtight containers, glass, metal, or really hard plastic, especially for things in the pantry or kitchen cupboards.
Good tip.
Uh,
And look for gnaw marks, right? That's a sign.
Definitely an early warning sign. Okay, moving on from food. Water.
Do they need much water? I always assume they got most of it from food.
They don't need a lot, but they do need some. And the article highlights that small, overlooked sources are often enough.
Like what? A dripping tap.
A dripping tap, yep. Or condensation on pipes under the sink. Pet water bowls, obviously. Even just a damp spot in a basement or laundry room.
Wow, so tiny leaks we ignore could actually be sustaining a mouse population.
It seems so. These little water sources allow them to survive and, multiply. So checking under sinks, behind appliances, fixing leaks promptly, it cuts off a vital resource.
Okay, this next one sounds a bit more ominous. Hidden infestations.
Yeah, this is where they might be living before you even see much evidence out in the open.
Where are we talking?
Inside walls, in attics, basements, crawl spaces again.
Why there?
They're quiet, usually warm, undisturbed, perfect for nesting. And worryingly, they often chew on things in there.
Like electrical wires.
Exactly, which is obviously a fire hazard. The article mentions listening for scratching sounds, especially at night.
Creepy.
It is. Or finding droppings near wall voids or in those hidden areas. Those are big clues. And, there are health risks too, like hantavirus or salmonella from their droppings in urine.
Ugh. Okay, definitely want to avoid hidden infestations. What else? Outdoor trash.
Right. You might think my indoor trash is secure, but what about the bins outside?
If they're overflowing or the lids don't fit right.
You're basically running a mouse buffet just outside your door. Mice scavenging outside will eventually try and find a way inside, especially if they smell food or sense warmth.
So secure outdoor bins are important too.
Very important. Keep lids tight, maybe even bungee cord them if needed. And the article suggests keeping the bins a few feet away from the house foundation if possible. Don't make it too easy for them.
Good point. Okay, last reason mentioned. This one's about perception, I guess. Underestimating the problem.
Yeah. You see one mouse or a few droppings and you think, okay, I'll just set a trap.
And maybe you catch one. Problem solved.
Often, not. Seeing one mouse or just a few droppings can unfortunately mean there's a much larger established group hiding somewhere.
So DIY methods might not be enough.
They often aren't for a real infestation.
Hmm.
Traps might get a few, but repellents are generally not very effective, and you're unlikely to wipe out a whole hidden colony that way.
Which is where professionals might come in.
That's what the article suggests. For significant or persistent problems, getting expert help is often the only way to really tackle the root cause and eliminate the entire population.
Okay, so summing up those reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Tiny entries, hidden nesting spots, easy food access, water sources, hidden infestations inside walls, unsecured outdoor trash, and just not realizing how many there might be.
It paints a much more complex picture than just keep the kitchen clean, doesn't it?
It really does. So, if cleaning alone isn't the silver bullet, what is the approach Simple Pest Management recommends? It sounds like it goes beyond just tidying.
Absolutely. Their focus seems to be on tackling the root causes, not just reacting with a trap here and there.
So what does that look like in practice?
Well, it involves comprehensive stuff, like
Yeah.
really thorough inspections to find all those tiny entry points we talked about.
Okay. Identifying the problem areas.
Right. Then implementing actual long-term control strategies. That means professional sealing, using the right materials like steel wool and sealant to block those entry points properly.
Making sure they stay out.
Exactly. And dealing with any existing infestation, cleaning up nesting sites, droppings, which is important for health reasons too.
Right. Getting rid of the mess they've already made.
And then setting up potentially year-round defense plans,
Yeah.
kind of like preventative maintenance for pests.
That sounds much more thorough than just putting down a sticky trap and hoping for the best.
It's definitely a more holistic approach, addressing the why and how they're getting in and staying, not just they're there.
And the article mentioned their service areas, San Diego, Riverside.
Sacramento and West Placer County too.
Right. And they even gave specific contact info for their Benicia office, which is helpful for listeners there. The phone number was 833-887-7378.
And the address, 4740 E 2nd Street, Suite C23, Benicia, California, zip 94510.
Good details. And they've got decent hours weekdays, 7:30 a.m. to 7 p.m., and Saturdays, 8:0 to 6:00.
So accessible for people needing help in that area. It shows that proper pest control is often localized and needs that kind of specific attention.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. The big message seems to be, yes, keep your house clean. That's important. It removes immediate food sources. But
it's only part of the story. You've also got to think like a mouse. Where could they possibly get in? Even tiny spots.
seal those entry points.
Check those hidden areas. Attics, garages, behind things. Are they potential nesting zones? Declutter them.
Secure your food properly. Airtight containers are your friend.
Don't forget water. Fix those drips. Check for dampness.
Be aware that an infestation might be hidden out of sight. Listen for sounds. Look for subtle signs.
Keep outdoor trash sealed and away from the house.
And finally, recognize that if you do have a problem, especially a persistent one, sometimes you just need professional help to really get rid of it effectively.
It's about a multi-pronged approach, really. Cleanliness plus prevention plus potentially intervention.
This has been, well, pretty eye-opening. Definitely changes how you think about keeping mice out. It's not just about wiping counters.
Absolutely. So here's something for you, our listener, to chew on maybe. Think about your own home right now. Beyond the surfaces you clean regularly, what about those unseen areas? Under the stairs, in the eaves, that corner of the basement?
Could they be unknowingly offering shelter or nesting spots, even if the rest of the house looks great?
And based on what we've talked about, the entry points, the food storage, the water, What's maybe one small change you could make, maybe even today, to make your home just a little less welcoming for these critters?
Good questions to ponder. Well, thanks for diving deep with us into this sometimes squeamish topic.
Oh, it was helpful.
We certainly hope it shed some light on why a clean house isn't always a mouse-free house and gave you some real things to think about. I'm Mark Buzz.
And I'm Anna Bugs.
And again, if you found this useful, please do consider following or liking us wherever you listen. It genuinely helps us out.
We really appreciate you tuning in. Understanding the why behind these common household issues is always the first step, right? And thanks again to Simple Pest Management for the article that sparked this discussion.
Yeah, definitely check them out if you're in their service area and need some expert help. Following them on social media might give you some more useful tips too.